Hi, okay, so I want to preface this video that the themes of American Assassin, like the general theme, needs a more profound analysis than the one that I'm going to give. I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to give an analysis. I'm just going to give my opinion on the film. So I am not going to comment on certain themes because I feel like it would be inadequate to not further explore the criticisms made in the film. But I think one of them that I feel a little bit comfortable with talking about is the fact that Mitch, his mental health, is completely ignored. It's basically, the agency is like, this is a good thing because he's more like he's a killer, like he's well trained and all these things, and then you kind of learn that Ghost was a bit similar, and then you're like, oh, that could happen. And it's funny how this man, not funny, like really funny, but just funny in an ironic way, that they never offered him any mental health. They were just like, don't make it personal, get over it. And it's like this man is severely traumatized, and I felt like that in itself said a lot about certain things. But like I said, I'm not going to talk about the general theming of it because I feel like that needs a very more profound analysis, which I'm not going to give. So moving on. The pacing of this film was strange to me. It felt like I was watching episodes of a show. It felt strange. Um, the scene where we're shown that's been 18 months and this man looks like a loner and then he's, basically being recruited, and then we see that someone's looking at him and they're like, oh yeah, he's on a watch list, not surprising. um, and then he's determined to do all these things, just go by himself and just take out as many people as possible. And then he gets recruited, and Hurley, or whatever, Hurley, I think it's how you pronounce him, is like basically telling him to like not make it personal, not ask questions, just follow orders. And Mitch is very not following orders. That it has to be done. Things have to be done, and he is determined. That man is determined. It doesn't matter if it hurts him. Doesn't matter if he's gonna get killed. He will like attack, and he's like a dog with rabies. Like I said, the pacing was weird. It didn't. Then it never. There was never a moment where I felt like there was momentum. Like at the beginning, I just felt like, okay, this is taking very long, but also they aren't giving us a lot of info about Mitch. I don't know if that was on purpose. And then in the middle, where it's like Hurley and his whole training, I thought the sequence gonna be more longer and focused on his training, but there were only like three specific things, and they only really showed us Victor, who gets killed like in the second mission, and Mitch, and Hurley doesn't give a lot of advice. Like it was no substance, was nothing was learned, just like don't keep it personal, right? And then Irene, who she works for the agency, is she's just like, yeah, I love, Mitch is the perfect candidate. And it's like you like, it's obvious why, because he kind of has a killing intent, and he does bunch of like, he just super buff and martial arts and knows how to use a weapon and all these things, but he is a loose cannon, and already happened with Ghost. um so I don't know why Irene was just so happy to like let Mitch into the wild and just do what he wants to do, because clearly he is not a team player. And then, oh my god, okay, so Annika, I hope I'm pronouncing that character's name right. Um, or Annika. She. I was a little bit concerned at the beginning when they showed her, because I was like, please do not give me another woman character that has no substance, and she's just there to look pretty. I absolutely hate those characters because it's so repetitive in so many films of like, um, you know, action films, that the woman is just there for no reason, and I am just tired of it. I'm just tired of seeing that. It just feels just so empty, and it's like they literally could have just not put a woman there. I would have preferred it, honestly. And when they showed her like being nice to Mitch and like being like very like romantic, I was like, God, no, please do not push us a romantic narrative. Do not shove down my throat a romantic. This is not a romantic movie. This is a revenge movie. Do not. And then it was like, okay, it wasn't a romantic movie. She was an undercover agent for whatever. And I was like, okay, okay, I get, this is good. And this is where the movie got good. When Mitch is like Hurley gets captured and Hurley's a psycho. He does not care. He's insulting Ghost. And oh god, it's so stupid that he never explained to to Mitch who was Ghost. I guess it helped because then it kind of let put on the red alarms when Annika knew about Ghost, even though he didn't know about Ghost. But anyways, um, but when Hurley's just goading on Ghost and just being crazy, and Mitch for some reason is like, I'm gonna go rescue him, but we aren't really shown that him and Hurley have a good relationship. So I'm like, is he doing this just because he's a good person? Maybe he was. I mean, they don't really show us anything before him. They just showed him that he was like nice and sweet, and he proposed to his girlfriend, and then his life just completely changed, and now he's more sarcastic and a little bit confrontational but very observant. So like it was all superficial. Now, don't forget, I love Dylan O'Brien. I will watch any movie this man is in because I just love him as an actor. And I think he did a really good job in the fight scenes. It was just really good. But also Tyler Kitsch. I also enjoy him as an actor. I like seeing him on screen. But yeah, when the part where Annika is getting in the car, like she's arrested, and Mitch is like, okay, so she clearly knows the guy that Hurley was gonna talk to because he's like, oh, he's a friend and he's her handler. So and then he turns out to be Annika's uncle, and so he goes and like basically breaks her out because she's in a car and they're gonna go arrest her. Or I don't know where they're taking her. And in that moment, the movie just got so good. It just got excellent because it's just this dynamic between Annika and him, and you're just like, oh my god. And she's explaining a little bit of her backstory about losing her brother and her family, and that now her uncle, and that she did all this to prevent deaths. And I just wished it would have been longer, them working together to find Hurley, but there wasn't a lot of scenes. And then Annika just kills I don't remember who it was, but it's someone who is like, yeah, well, I guess a bad guy. It's just like this car scene where it blows up and them shooting, and then the scene where Annika's like, no, I do want to see my family, and Ghost thinks that, oh, she wants to live because but her family's all dead, and then she just sacrifices herself, is so like, oh my god, because he genuinely didn't want her to, like, I was like, oh my god. And then the end scene where he finally listens to Hurley, where Hurley's like, dude, you're gonna get killed. You need to throw it overboard. You get up on the helicopter. That scene, I was like, the fishes, man, they're gonna ruin the fishes. But the scene where, what's it called? Where, sorry, I keep saying the scene. Where all those, what are the things at sea? The huge ships. That was really cool to watch, but it just fell flat. It really did. It felt anticlimactic. But after that, the ending where you see Hurley and like I guess the hospital, like they literally looked like they just put a bunch of like a wrapping on his arm. It did not look like medically done. It just looked like, okay, we need to put like stuff on him so he looks a little bit like recuperating. And then Irene gets there and she's like, where's Mitch? I can't get a hold of him, which is hilarious because she's from the CIA and you can't find this man. Like, this man hasn't been trained in like intelligence. He's just been trained to be like a weapon to fight and to learn how to fight and be like, but whatever. And then we find out that he's gonna go assassinate someone, and it's like, oh my god. So, and okay, so here's a little part where I'm like, okay, he does have humanity because he does ask about Victor, and Hurley's like, he's dead. There's nothing we can do about it. He's gone. Whatever. Like, it doesn't matter who he is. Like, who? Victor who? So he does have certain humanity to him, but he is so mentally like not okay that he's just he's just going on a rampage. I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about this movie. I did enjoy it. I liked being like, no, don't give me the romance plot, or like, oh my god, what is happening, or the fight scenes. I will give my props to the fight scenes. Those were really well done. And when they show the gore of like the wound or the stabbing, it made me go like, oh my god, like that was really good. I give props to that. Also, they filmed at different like locations. I mean, it all looked very different, and I'm not really that well versed in that, so maybe it didn't. But in reality, to the content of the film, there was criticism and there was a message. But apart from that, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like, okay, so maybe out of 10, I would give this movie a 6 or a 7. Like, I enjoyed it, but it just could have been so much more. Um, I feel like, tell me if you watched this movie, what you thought about it. And if you want to discuss the larger criticism that it has, I feel like that would be interesting as well. I just feel like this video just doesn't do that because obviously just talked about from my perspective, not analyzing and all that. Um, but yeah, I just felt like it needed more. There were things missing. It kind of felt like imagine like the plot is a skeleton. I feel like there are some body parts missing out of this. I don't know if that makes sense. It makes sense in my head. But yeah, so I kind of wanted to leave it at that. I don't want to make this video too long. So if you're watching, thank you for watching. And yeah, please tell me your thoughts on American Assassin because I would like to talk about it. Because I did think it was interesting. So, bye.